Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Upbeat Games. So as you can see, Final Fantasy XIV again. So in this episode, I'm going to try to clear P12S, the Pandaemonium 12S, which is the last Savage tier in the entire Pandaemonium raids series in this video with this party finder. So I'm going to again briefly talk about this party finder setup and also about the Pandaemonium 12S. So this video continues from the previous video, which unfortunately I could not help the party finder clear the P12S. So as you can see, as of now, there are 5 players in the party. So the party finder leader, their name is Nix Ariel. So this is actually a clear party for alternative jobs. So what does an alternative job mean? So in the game, as for many raiders, excluding me myself, so they actually have 2 characters. So these 2 characters, they share one account. So they do not really have to pay additional, I think, $10 or 15 Canadian dollars to have 2 separate characters. So what do these 2 separate characters do from the reader's perspective is they actually each clears the 4 Savage floors, or whichever floor the player needs to clear each week. So as we all know, each week the game is reset. So the loots dropped by each Savage floor will be reset as well. So the interesting thing is the characters, they actually share those loots. So that basically just indicates each player, they can actually clear the Savage fights twice per week. So then, like these basically just doubles the chance for them to acquire the dropped loots. So as for the loots, as you can see, if you play any MMORPG, or if you have been playing Final Fantasy XIV, you know the loots, like the dropping system is actually RNG. So it's actually a random number. So by doing this, many players, they can actually acquire the best weapon in the game as of now, the best accessories, best gear, way faster than other players. I do not own a separate player. I really like this system. I haven't really put too much thoughts. I just think it might take me too long time to clear the main story quest if I create another character. So as you can see, in the party right now, there are 6 players for sure, as all of the Savage fights. So each fight requires 8 players. So the setup of these 8 players, like the role or the job setup, is actually set. There has to be 2 tanks, 2 healers, and then 4 DPS jobs, DPS players. So the 2 tanks, they cannot usually, as long as the party finder player does not set the multiple job, like sharing the multiple job in the same party setup. So usually for tank and healer, they cannot really repeat the same job. So for example, as you can see, as for the tanks, like the icon is the blue color. So we have the warrior, as you can see on the upper north corner of the party leader's icon, Nix Ariel's icon, that's the warrior. That's the warrior job. And then there is another blue icon player. So that's a paladin. And also we have a healer. The color of the icon is green, who just joined the party. So that's a white mage. And then the rest of 3 players, they are DPS. So my job is actually the Reaper. So I have been playing the Reaper job for almost 2 years. I think right after the Endwalker expansion, they introduced several, I think 2 new jobs. So Reaper was one of the 2 new jobs introduced at the beginning of the End Worker expansion. I really like this job. It's actually the melee DPS. So regarding DPS, there are many sub roles. So we have melee DPS, we have ranged DPS, we also have ranged casters. So as you can see from top to bottom, the second player whose icon is red, so that player, the job is a dancer, and then followed by a black mage. So dancer is actually the ranged DPS, and then black mage for sure is a caster. And then on the very bottom, Navia, Caesar, I think that's how this player's name is pronounced. So that player is another melee DPS, that's Samurai. So as you can see, every setup, like for the fighter setup, there has to be 4 DPS. And then like among 4 DPS, there have to be 2 melee DPS, and then 1 ranged DPS, and then 1 caster. So now we are just waiting another healer to join the party. So regarding the healer setup, in the game right now, there are in total 4 different healer jobs. So 2 are considered as pure healers. So those are the white mage and the scholar, and then the other 2 are the shield healers. So there are scholar, that's the name of the healer job, and then sorry, I forgot the last name of the healer job. So that's the job actually introduced at the beginning of Endwalker expansion. So I also So for sure, the reason why, one of the main reasons was because I played Final Fantasy 16. So I just beat Final Fantasy 16. So if you are interested, you can check my other videos about Final Fantasy 16. So all of the videos have been posted. And then another reason was because P12 as at the beginning to me was a little bit difficult. There are two phases in this fight. In my opinion, for sure, the first phase is harder than the second phase. It's most like the last floor fights is the same way. Like the first phase is always harder than the second phase. The first phase in game, most players call that as door boss. So basically, if you beat the first phase, then you can actually continue the second phase. The first phase, not all of the mechanics are difficult. P12 as the unique part is like this. The ending mechanic, the last mechanic, which is called the super chain 2, A and B, like A part, like B part is followed right after the A part. It's considered as one of the most difficult mechanics in this fight. So why it's kind of very difficult? It's like overall speaking, like when I progged the P12 as the first phase, I thought the first phase was quite difficult. Not at present, not anymore. Was just because even though the mechanics, the boss's mechanics before the super chain 2A and B are relatively easier, if any players do not pay extra attention to any details of it, any mechanic. Usually that might not actually wipe the whole party, but it depends. For example, before Super Chain 2A and B, the name of the mechanic is Limit Cut. So that's actually not the exact name of the mechanic, but it's the Limit Cut. Limit Cut mechanic has several features in the game. Like all of the players above their heads, you will see from 1 to 8, randomly, different number, different numbered like little balls appearing above each character, each player's head. And then 4 players receive a red color numbers, and then the other 4 players receive a blue color numbers. So in P12 as limited cut mechanic, if any player messes up, basically that's a wipe. So basically the point is like this: before reaching the Super Chain 2A and B, some mechanics, if players do not pay attention to, that's a wipe. So once the fight is wiped, you have to start from. Okay, so the party leader just sent a ready check message. So again, like the previous video, I'm not going to disturb the viewing experience, but I'm going to talk between pools. So if for whatever reason any players that they actually cause a wipe, hopefully that's not me. I'm going to talk about the reason why, and then just some comments. Okay, here we go. And by the way, please enjoy the music of phase 1.
Show me your all, that I might become divinity manifest! From nothing I mold life. theory shall be proven as fact.
Alright, so this group, as you can see, we have cleared phase 1, but I died during the limited cut mechanic. As you can see, I did not make any mistake in the entire fight. I died because I was not topped off. The boss actually dashed at me during limited cut, so then the hitters did not top me off, which was totally fine. That could be a very unique strategy because right after the limited cut mechanic, there was a huge, heavy, I should say, the heaviest rate right mechanic. So hitters needed to save their resources to actually protect and heal the whole party during that mechanic. Anyway, here as you can see, we have come to the phase 2 of the fight. The boss has actually transformed, and then I'm going to actually let the background music to run a little bit, and then I will actually silence it, since the music, in my opinion, is not that.
I can create worlds or unmake them.
I will actually keep the music running before we pull, because we need to first set up our positions. This fight, the most interesting part are those mechanics. The music, it's in my humble opinion, not the best creation of music composer, the music team for Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, so I'm going to actually silence the music from now. Please enjoy the phase 2 of Pandaemonium 12S. So before we pull, as you can see, there is a player who actually has this upside down triangle marker. That's actually the focused marker I put on that player's head. So only I see that the focused marker. The rest of the players, if they want to focus the other players, they actually see different colored and different colored triangle marker. The reason why I put this focus marker on the samurai, which is my melee partner, is because later in the fight, there is later in the mechanic, there is one mechanic. I need to go certain place like ABCD markers, as you can see, based on where my partner goes. Looks like the party actually wants to reshuffle the position. Like we set this position randomly, but you can see this is actually a Congo line. There is a reason we actually set up this position this way. We have to deal with the mechanic is actually called the Pangenesis. That's actually the mechanic happening in the midpoint of this fight. We have to set up the mechanic in this way. Phase 2, I might die. Hopefully, I will not, die to actually cause the whole party to wipe. Hopefully, I won't die. There are quite many interesting mechanics in these fights. Hopefully, I can actually crack or resolve all of those mechanics.
denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest snow, I summon you! The heavens bend to my will! From base elements is greatness forged. A god's will cannot be disobeyed! Misfortune hangs heavy on the prideful. Pour cover for one that heavens fall! The elements flow according to my design! This world must be made anew! Creation's course is mine to set! I will not be denied! From base elements is greatness forged. The wheel of life turns by my hand! A god's will cannot be disobeyed!
So the party got wiped in one very unique mechanic, which is called the classic theory 2. So that mechanic, as you can see, several different shapes appeared onto the arena, and then each player receives either alpha or beta mechanic. So in the meantime, each player above their heads, the PlayStation marker will appear. So I received the X PlayStation marker, and also in the meantime alpha debuff. So that means different PlayStation markers, players need to go to the different column. So X, that means the leftmost column, so that's why I ran towards the left. And then alpha debuff, that just means between the blue orb and the red orb. So I had to stand there to prevent the red orb to contact the blue orb. But yeah, we got wiped. But that's okay. Let's actually pull again.
I can create worlds or unmake them. I will not be denied. Only I can guide this star to its rightful place. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon you!
So the party got wiped in that Pangenesis mechanic. The reason why was I believe so as you can see, several towers spawned onto the arena. 2 players needed to soak each tower. Once the tower is soaked, the 2 players need to stay still. So they merge. They merge something, and then a little blurb or like anything, the small blurb appeared. There was actually one blurb missing. That's actually how the party got wiped.
I can create worlds or unmake them. I will not be denied. Only I can guide this star to its rightful place. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest snow, I summon you! That hammer stands to my will! From base elements is greatness forged. A god's will cannot be disobeyed.
So the party got wiped during the classical 1 mechanic. So as I briefly explained earlier, I think everybody now knows how that mechanic works. I think the players died at the end, like those you saw like 2 tentacles touched the arena, and then from the tentacles there were 8 light columns shooting out. So the light column.
I can create worlds or unmake them. I will not be denied. Only I can guide this star to its rightful place. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest snow, I summon you!
So unfortunately, party got wiped again. So that mechanic this time, which party got wiped, it's called the caloric theory 1, which in my opinion is quote unquote the most difficult mechanic in this game.
I can create world or unmake them. I will not be denied. Only I can guide this star to its rightful place. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest I summon you! The heavens bend to my will! From base elements of greatness forged, a god's will cannot be disobeyed!
Yeah, I was a kind dozed off there. I should have paid more attention to my debuff icon.
I can create world or unmake them. I will not be denied. Only I can guide this star to its rightful place. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest I summon you! The
Oops, I believe another player just made the same mistake as I did. So like as you can see around the bottom left quarter of the screen, so the party founder leader really wants everybody to focus or to take a breath or take a minute. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank those Final Fantasy XIV players who have created the really smart strategies combating those mechanics in the phase 2. So I believe most of the raiders are following the paste bin strategies. Ever since I cleared the P12S, when I think back about those mechanics and strategies I have been using, those strategies are so smart and easy to remember and easy to perform. So compared to P8 as and P4 as a phase 2, in my humble opinion, I think P4 as the first final floor of that tier in the Endwalker expansion is the most difficult among 3 phase 2 fights. P12S, I think the fight you are watching now, in my opinion, is the easiest. The P8S phase 2, there are several mechanics, like the merging mechanic. If any player makes one small mistake, that's a wipe. Same as P12S, but to be honest, I found those mechanics in P12S are so much easier. So basically, I will tell you guys the names of those mechanics. So right after, as you can see, boss at one point at the beginning of the fight shrinks the whole or zoom out the entire arena. So as you can see, the view is kind of like the satellite view, like watching down the Earth. After that, there will be just several repetitive mechanics, like a Classic Theory 1, Caloric Theory 1, Pangenesis, Classic Theory 2, Caloric Theory 2, and that's it. And then the later mechanics are just very easy to resolve. So hopefully this party will clear the 12S, so you guys can actually see to the end of this fight. Enjoy! So now I have switched player focus to my tank. In the later mechanic, I have to follow tank. Tank has to follow me. That tank I focus. So I put the marker on their head because right now I can totally see who my samurai player is. That's Lala. Lala is the name of the race. One of the races in this game. And also the player puts on the white colored costume. So it's very easy for me to find that player. Besides, I have set up the game to show players a job above their head. And that player always goes to the spot between marker A and B. So very easy for me to see where that player is.
I can create worlds or unmake them. citizens of the abyss, from ink of the waters, I summon you! From base elements is greatness forged. A god's will cannot be disobeyed. Misfortune hangs heavy on the prideful. Pour cover for one that heavens fall. The elements flow according to my design. This world must be made anew! Creation's course is mine to set!
Again, unfortunately, the party got wiped in the Pangenesis mechanic. I don't really know at this point how long this party will still try to clear, but I won't really leave this party easily. So let's see how, or if this party can really clear this fight. By the way, the reason why I died during the classic theory one mechanic was I moved away from the spot where the tentacle touched the arena too much. So yes, as you can imagine, the shooting beams are baited by the characters, by the players. So I need to bait the direction where the beam shoots, but also I need to stay closer to the point that the tentacle touches the arena.
of the abyss, from ink of the blackest night, I summon you! From base elements is greatness forged. Of God's will cannot be disobeyed. Misfortune hangs heavy on the prideful. Poor cover for one that haven't fallen. The elements flow according to my design. I can create well or unmake them. I will not be denied. Only I can guide this star to its rightful place. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of the blackest night, I summon you! flow according to my design. This world must be made anew! Creation's course is mine to set!
So hopefully this video won't be too long to make you guys feel bored. But yeah, so looks like the dancer died at one of the easy mechanics, and then for whatever reasons, one of the healers also died. So that's quite difficult for the other healer to raise the 2 players before the next mechanic started.
I can create worlds or unmake. I will not be denied. Only I can guide this star to its rightful place. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of the blackest night, I summon you! The heavens bend to my will! From base elements is greatness forged. A god's will cannot be disobeyed! Misfortune hangs heavy on the prideful. Pour cover for one that haven't fallen.
Uh, I had no clue what happened. What caused a wipe during the previous pool, but that's okay. Let's try one more pool. I think one of the players just left the party, which is okay. Yes. So that's the nature of the Savage fights in the Final Fantasy XIV game. So this game from the very beginning to the current expansion, there are so many Savage fights. Each Savage fight has its unique mechanics, and then for sure players need to use different strategies to actually counter to resolve those mechanics. In the meantime, doing their rotation. For example, my job is the Reaper, so my focus is actually to slash down the boss's health point, HP. So yeah, unfortunately that party didn't really clear the phase 2, but I'm going to post more Final Fantasy XIV videos from now on, for sure, like if I have time. And then like for sure I'd like to talk more about those mechanics. Overall speaking, I think that party, the previous party, did quite well during the phase 1. So phase 1 usually is actually harder than the phase 2 because different, like several mechanics that they have from so many different variations, right? Like, to resolve those mechanics, when I saw different variation, I had to react. And then phase 2, for sure, each mechanic has a variation. I wouldn't say lots of variation. The mechanic itself is actually set. It just depends on the debuff the players receive. Players actually just go different spots and then to dodge this, to actually do this, do that. Hopefully in the future video I can show you a party to actually clear the P12S. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Final Fantasy XIV, and thank you for supporting updated games. So please leave your comments about how I can improve the quality of the videos I share with my friends. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.